Falls are the #1 reason for injuries for older adults. Did you know that 83% of deaths related to hip fractures are caused by falls? Today, we're going to talk about why that happens and what you can do to solve that problem. Welcome to the Muscle Repair Shop. Today, we're going to talk about why people fall as they age and what they can do to solve that problem. And if that's you, this is the place for you to be. So let's get started. So why do people get so injured when they fall? Well, the ironic thing or interesting thing that I found was in the top 5 injuries for older adults, #1 was falls, #2 were sprains, and #5 was TBIs, traumatic brain injury. What's interesting is that the fall itself contributes to the other 2. So in most cases, when someone who is older falls, they may hit their head and create a traumatic brain injury. When they fall, they may sprain their ankle or sprain their knee, or worse yet, they may break a hip. And the sad part is, in a lot of cases, when someone breaks a hip that is older, many times it results in death for that person. We want to try to stop that and turn that around. But let's dig in first to why that happens. When you look at your legs and the muscles in your legs, there's 2 reasons for the falls. #1, either you're under muscle, which means your muscles are weak, or you're stiff and inflexible, which means that your muscles there's no give in your muscles there. When you're weak, there are certain exercises that you can do to strengthen your muscles that can help you do that, and I'm going to go through those here in just a minute. When you're inflexible and you're stiff, there are specific stretches geared for that. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. Our balance is really about from the muscles and our legs from the knees down to your feet. Your feet have to be soft. They have to have the ability to grip and grab the ground. You have 29 muscles in each foot with 33 joints. And the sad part is for so many older Americans, they're walking around in shoes with orthotics, or they're having arch supports or thick soles on their shoes, and the shoe itself is preventing their ankles from actually bending, but more importantly, that shoe is preventing the muscles in the feet from actually working to help with your balance. On top of that, the calf muscles, you have 4 of those with the 3 shin muscles on the front side. Those muscles in the calves and the shins are actually allowing your foot to move vertically, laterally, and rotationally in your movements. If you're stiff in any one of those areas, the risk of falling becomes much higher. So there's a few things that you can do. #1, being able to stand at your counter, stand on 1 foot there, hold on to the counter just so you won't fall down, and practice on that 1 foot, lifting up your heel so that you're up on your toes, and at a count of 3 or a count of 5, slowly go back down and then come back and do it again. When you're doing this in the beginning, when you come up on your toes, hold it for as long as you can. If that's 2 seconds, that's fine. That's your baseline. Then repeat and see how many times you can do it. If you can only do it 2 or 3 times, that's fine. Again, that's your baseline. This is where you're starting. And so what you want to do is get to the point that you can come up on your toes and come down on your heel at a count of 5. You want to be able to do at least 3 sets of 10. For some of you, that may take a while to do that, but if you do it consistently on an everyday basis, it will not take you long for your body to change. And no, you're not too old to do these things. The other thing you could do is getting in and out of a chair. Take a dining room chair, for instance, and practice standing up without your hands. Now, you may in the beginning have to start with your hands, and that's okay. Again, that's your baseline. That's where you're starting. But your goal is to get to the point that you can stand up out of that chair without having to use your hands to pull yourself up. Now, the muscles in your thighs are going to be key for this, but the muscles in your calves and your feet are going to help with balance as well and making that happen a little bit better. You can get a big ball, almost like a beach ball kind of thing, and you can put that between your knees and you can practice squeezing that sitting in a chair, or you can do it laying down if you prefer. And what you're doing is you're actually strengthening your inner thighs by doing that. These are so simple things that if you did those every day over the course of 30, 60 days, you'd be amazed at how much stronger and how much sure-footed that you feel when you're walking around and moving. So let's talk about the stretching. So on the stretching and massage side of it, what you want to do there is you want to be able to massage your feet and on the top. In other words, you want to come down and massage in between the bones on the top of your feet. And you also want to massage your feet on the bottom side as well. And by doing that, what happens is that allows the muscles in your feet to soften, allows the toes to spread. Now, an interesting thing is that if you start to practice walking barefoot at home, and I would suggest doing this in a hallway, learn to feel how your feet feel when you grip the floor as you're walking. If you need to start out on a rug, fine, do that. But eventually you'll get to a point that you can walk on any surface anywhere. But what you want is to get the muscles in your feet to start moving and just feel as you're walking slowly down your hallway how it feels as your foot grips the ground on the floor itself. Then what you want to get into the calf stretching, and I will put videos to the foot massage and to the calf stretching down below in the description as well. But you want to get like a yoga strap about 8 foot long, or even a piece of rope about 8 foot long would be fine. Don't use an elastic band, because an elastic band is really designed for strength training. It doesn't help you in stretching at all. But I want you to learn how to stretch your calves properly. Many of you may have tried to stretch your calves by standing on a slant board, dropping your heel off of a step, or you're leaning against a wall trying to extend the back of your heel. And yes, you are stretching your Achilles tendon, but unfortunately, that's called a calf stretch. Sadly, it's really just stretching your Achilles tendon. In fact, all three of those, whether you're on a slant board or you're dropping your heel off of a step or a curb or leaning against a wall, is basically only stretching the Achilles tendon on the back of your heel. While they are attached to the two middle calf muscles, and you will feel them a little bit in your calves, you're not fully stretching your calves because A, you're missing the inside-outside ones, and you're not really addressing the belly of the muscles up closer to your knee with that. So it's important to do those things on a regular basis. If you can do those 5 things between, practicing doing toe raises next to a counter, getting up and down out of a chair, walking barefoot down the hallway, if you can do those things along with the stretching and the massage, now what happens is you can start to build your strength at any age. I don't care if you're in your 90s, you'll build your strength at any age. And secondly, you'll improve your flexibility so that you will be able to walk more confidently and not have that fear of falling. Because what we want to do is try to teach people how not to fall. It's many times it's not necessary. A lot of times it's just poor lifestyle more than anything else. So if you like what you've heard, please subscribe down below. Be sure to ring the bell. And as always, leave comments, ask all the questions that you want, because my goal is to help you be able to stop having injuries as you get older. There's no reason for it as long as you take care of yourself. And for now, see you. I hope you enjoyed this last video. Be sure to click on the video here to my left and enjoy.